Welcome to episode 4 of If They Won't Listen. Hopefully, the last week of technical issues of any kind. research.
We're
What's
still in
going
the
on,
beta
Chris?
stage.
Yeah, seriously. What's going on with you, man?
Living the dream, brother. Another day in the life.
Mm-hmm.
It's that time of year. Temperature's starting to drop. Leaves are turning.
So, you been watching the news or anything?
Not really. I did just because it affects various people that I do associate with, like my girlfriend. I did catch wind of all this TikTok crap that's going on in national security.
Oh yeah, we're having national security over TikTok now. That's a thing.
Oh yeah, no. They actually, as of today, TikTok, we WeChat, I think, which is a company based in India, and a whole bunch of others are getting. Well, most of them are just getting shut down. Apparently, TikTok has gotten a stay of execution. They're not allowed to release any updates or anything, but the app will still be there until November 20th after the elections for, I guess, two reasons. One, so, they can build up enough protesters, enough people hating the president, but by the time if he wants to try and get reelected, he may have to rethink his decisions. And two, so other companies, because at least Oracle, I think, and somebody that is claimed might be Walmart or associated to Walmart is trying to, and there again the details are fuzzy. It's like they might try and buy it, or they might be trying to buy it. They might be trying to do this with it and leave them the licensing rights. They might be trying to buy licensing rights. All the legal red tape and bullshit that we have no idea how to deal with and really don't want to anyway. But so I guess that's what it is, and I'm not sure I understand how it's a security risk, but whatever. I guess it is what it is. And I don't personally use the app, and I couldn't care less personally, but my girlfriend, that's one of the ways she, doesn't really keep in contact because that's not what it is, but she gets to see the TikToks that her daughter puts on of she and her grandchildren, and her other daughter, and the two of them have been doing stuff together on there, and music videos, whatever, I don't know. So, and other funny, and I kind of half-ass listen sometimes when she's watching it, when I'm playing a game or something. Some of the shit's on there is kind of funny. Some of it's like I just shake my head.
Oh
But
yeah, no, for sure. It's the clickbaity culture we live in.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So, something I really wanted to talk about with Dante here, and with you, we'll convene it next week on a perfect recording. But so in Cali, dude, it is fucking insane. Like Boston and Chicago and New York, like they've all taken a hit from Corona, but
Oh
Cali
yeah.
was retarded before Corona.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
like there's so many homeless people in California right now because it's everyone's dream to move out there with two saddlebags and a fucking stick for them to hang on, and then they can't make it
Hollywood.
work. Yeah, and like it's courageous and it's the American dream, but there's so many homeless people. There's apps for poop. Like there's apps, literal apps that you say I found human poop and you tag it on the app so a poop cleaner can get it. That's how much poop there is in San Francisco. Golden Gate Bridge, poop app. Like so that's just
It's
A. And like I'm not
disgusting.
saying that my area is great, whether it be Boston or New Hampshire or whatever, but I've never seen enough human feces to have an app for it. So that's a unique thing to California. Um, so more than that, the police, whether we're gonna call it a a non-pacifistic act, or whether we're going to call it, um, an agenda we couldn't see. People in Cali were flipping cars, fucking lighting shit on fire, but just terrorizing the neighborhood, like terrorizing. And the cops just sat back and watched. I didn't know anything about it until I watched Joe Rogan's episode. He was from California, and he said, "Fuck this." He moved. He left California. He lives in Austin, Texas. It's like, fuck this. I'm gonna buy a ranch. I'm gonna turn it into a comedy club, and I'm gonna get all the kings of comedy out here, and not the literal kings, but just all the
Wow.
real great comedians. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and it was just, I don't know Cali, but I've never stomached it. Mostly because the San Andreas Fall. I don't want to live on part of the Kit Kat that falls off. But
Right.
you know, it's just, I don't know. Never been there, and I've never been more excited to not go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my girlfriend used to live out there, and she's like, "Nope, I won't go back." No part of that. And part of it, yeah, is the earthquakes, but
Yeah,
it's not everything it's cracked up to be. You know, I mean, if you really don't have money and have somewhere to go, you get out there. It's not anything nice because there's, like you said, there's so many people. You know, it's still today just like the immigrants coming across the Atlantic to New York City to the Statue of Liberty trying to get into the country. There's just way too many people with no jobs and nowhere to live and no way to survive because, and the other part of that, it's so fucking expensive to live in California.
yeah, no, it's retarded. Like, I think rent's high. No, no, my bedroom is like a $2,000 apartment in Cali. It's retarded.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it's like living
Absolutely
in
ridiculous.
Manhattan. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
ridiculous.
We're looking at Central Park in New York. You know what I mean? Like, but so the cops just had this burn themselves out strategy, where they let the protesters burn themselves out, and it just seemed
Literally
like,
in some cases.
yeah, I don't know. I think that's ridiculous. There's so much going on, dude. Like, you open Reddit for 10 seconds, and all you see is fucking riots and this and that. And fucking August, it was so full of bullshit. It's just so full of bullshit. Like, the more I work, the more I understand, like, little bits about people and stuff. And the more I, game, the more I understand ideals about foreign concepts. But the concept of America is just weird. Like, it's good, but it's weird. Compare us to the rest of the world, and there's a few things that stand out. Most governments, and not most, but a few large amounts of them that exist in other parts of the world, they don't have this two-party system that hangs in the balance. Like, they don't. Like, there's bigger checks and balances, and some places the president, or ambassador, whatever we're going to call him, does change, but the staff under him is very locked tight, and that's what does shit. um
Yeah. Huh?
but it's just weird. Like, I mean, you're much older than I, so you've seen a lot more shit go down in this country than me. But, like, I think everyone who cares about, like, I was just gonna say, everyone who cares about politics is an idiot, and, like, I partially mean that. Like, I'm 25 and looking at this shit's stupid. Like, doesn't matter who Trump is, doesn't matter who Biden is. With the internet, I can find dirt on both of them. Um, no 10 people are all going to agree on the same thing. Extrapolate that to
Well,
300 million, and
you don't need the internet to find dirt on Trump.
even still, like,
I had to put that in there.
no, and you're right. And, like, I like Trump for all the things that he's not like the other people. Like, he's not who I've seen for every president since I was a kid. I think the first president who I really took notice to was uh, W. Bush, and then it went, what, W. Bush to Obama, and then Obama to Trump, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone, half the people I met talked shit about Bush and said he caused the Iraq War, and the other half the people said he didn't, and he's doing great things. And now hit Obama. Half the people hate him. He's a blank blank baddie word. And the other half of people were like, "Oh, no, we're so happy," and he's doing so much. And so it's like this tinted glass of alcohol that everyone's freaking looking through after they drink it, and I
Yeah.
just don't get it. Like, I don't know what it means to be left or right or this or that. I don't know what conservative or non or any of that means, because none of it matters. Like, the definitions of what the politicians consider those things in a party is not the way those words work without that in that sense. And I hate that jalopy bullshit. Like, we have one word with like four definitions. You just made a fifth. Shut the fuck up. Like, and
Right.
you know what I mean? If I Google what is a leftist thing and what is a rightist thing, there's columns. Columns. Newsflash. We have like millions or billions of synapses in our head. Millions or billions. Not sure which. I didn't want to say trillions and it be only billions, or say billions and it be only millions. I'm not an exact neuroscientist, but nonetheless, there's so many fucking connections going on in our head that it's unfathomable. Like, in 50 years, we might know more, but we won't know everything. And in 100 years, it'll be the same and the same and the same. The more we know, the more we'll be able to look deeper, and we're never gonna stop learning more, because we'll just go over the things we've already learned and get more precise with them, or just throw them out the book because they're wrong. So it's crazy, but to think that any person could just believe one thing. Boom. And I don't mean one thing on one subject. Like, I like sugar cookies, not oatmeal raisin. Not what I mean. I mean, like, especially, like, who do you want to run this country? Who do you want to decide the laws, and who do you want to give legislature for good or bad things? Um, None of that is like a one way argument for me. None of it. Like we're talking about healthcare. That's its own professional to talk about that. Like the doctor. Then there's the citizen. How does the citizen see the world to having to go to a doctor? Then you have to talk about the guy who oversees the doctor and keeps the checks and balances. And it's like, okay, and now you need the guy who is an expert on medicine in a large scale, because you can't have one doctor because there's one person. You need to have hundreds of hospitals, thousands of hospitals, and hundreds of thousands of doctors to stop the hundreds of millions of people from not having enough care. And so it's like, okay, shit, so we're only talking about healthcare, and I've already brought up the person being helped, the citizen, the person they go to, the doctor, the checks and balance and or boss of the doctor, and then the guy who can extrapolate those three people, including where you go to the doctor, and where the doctor goes to work, and where the businessman goes to manage the doctor, and then that fourth guy who pushed it to a whole country. Like, those are four people. We're just talking about healthcare, and like, healthcare is really important. You can go a lot deeper than that. We can get other experts in here. Like, I could talk for this whole show about just the category of healthcare, and then next show about the category of homelessness and food and resources and just all these things that we don't talk about. Like, if I were to look at if I were to compile 10 hours of news clips, any 10 I chose in the last 12 months, I could horrify someone. Just fucking horrifying. Because you only notice how biased the news is when you strap them together in a long set, a long, like, rope of videos. Like, you look at what Fox News said Monday, and you look at what Fox News said Monday 6 months later, and it's like, holy shit, the same dude owns the station? What? That's a
Yeah.
headline saying green apples are the best and red apples are the best, and what?
It's
I
all
don't.
about what somebody else thinks. But I remember being a kid and sitting on the living room floor in my great grandparents' house when Reagan got shot. So I don't know about pay attention, but I've seen a few presidents since then. I mean, I've Reagan, Bush Sr., Bill, Bush Jr., all the way up into now we're dealing with somebody I won't ever vote for multiple reasons, and I know you and I have probably touched on this a couple of times, but very simply, the man is a showman and a half-assed businessman, nothing else. He's most famous for saying you're fired. I don't want that man running my country personally. Now, that being said, that's my own personal opinion. As far as actual policies and what he may or may not have done good for the country, all of them have done good stuff. Bill did really, really good for unemployment for the job market. He, did some things he wasn't supposed to with an intern. Alright, so what? Big deal. Does that really change the way he runs the country? Or whether or not he's qualified to run the country? No, pretty sure it doesn't, but so many people have so many opinions on it, and it really doesn't matter what anybody thinks in the end anyway, because number one, whoever's sitting in that chair is only a figurehead. They are nothing more than a figurehead. If they are told to do this, if Congress and the Senate and the powers that are really running the country decide that this, and this are going to happen, they're going to make it happen. Whether it's by just gently shoving him in this direction, saying, hey, well, this, and this, and we need to do this because of this and this and this, or just saying, yeah, no, you're not doing that, dude. We're vetoing everything. You're just kind of screwed. He is almost powerless. Very honestly. He is no more than a puppet. He is no more than a figurehead. He never had... Okay, maybe in the beginning it wasn't like that. But it didn't take long. You let other people in there, and now the Senate and the House are running things. And I don't even know that they're running things, because I'm sure the companies that they own or that are funding them, because they got to get their money from somewhere to get in there, are the ones really running the things, because, I have to make this person happy, and this person happy, and this person's paying my mortgage, and this one's paying for my $1 million mansion right now, and whatever else, my Tesla or Aston Martin that I'm driving around, whatever. When it comes down to it, though, it doesn't matter Republican and Democrat, Independent. They only have just so much power, almost none really, and the power that they do have, it's a give and take, because this one did this wrong and screwed this up and got us into a war, but they did this, and this over here. And this one did this, and this, and fixed this, and did this for international relations, but they really screwed up over here, fucked up the space program, screwed up education, whatever. And I'm not, giving specific examples. I'm just saying that's just how it is. That's how it's always been. That's the way this system is right now. That's how it always will be. It doesn't matter in the end who you vote for. You're going to get good and you're going to get bad, and you're just kind of going to have to deal with it or move.
There's so much I could say. I'm going to go with the last thing I thought about. No, I agree with you. There's a lot of problems. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff you said about Trump, but I respect him as a person who has made a retarded amount of money. I know plenty of people who blew $1 million or blew $100 million or whatever his dad gave him. Like, the fact that I could give you $100 million right now, and yeah, you'd probably be fine. But I'm not gonna lie to you. Like 6 months from now, the psychological chances that you could adapt to be the person who loses and blows all that are more higher. Like, I would bet on that happening more than I would bet on you being a fiscally responsible human with $100 million for the rest of your life. Like, after you blow 20 or 30 mil, like your, Brewster's Million style, as fast as you can fucking throw that money, it goes. You'd be sick of it, and then you'd just start like, I'll try this to be happy, and you would run out of money before you found happiness. And like, that's, psychology says more about that than anything. Like, you can be happy with money, but you need to be doing like your own endeavor. Like Joe Rogan's style of happy, or my style of happy. And I'm not saying that we have anything in common other than we wake up every day and we aim for what makes us happy. I could be at higher paying jobs right now that I know I could get, like, for a fact, and it comes down to, like, I actually like where I work. I'm consciously taking the hit of getting paid less and working at a place where I enjoy the morale, and I don't add as much stress as I can equally shed off, compared to I could go get benefits and work in a warehouse, and you know what I mean. I would get paid more, and my family would be better off. And, like, there's so many things, and I would even have more time for this. But it's like, I don't want to go work in a factory. I don't want to have to dye my hair back to normal. I don't want to have to stop getting neck tattoos, or maybe not get face tattoos, or the rest of my hands. Like, there's so many things I want to do, and freedom is kind of the most important thing to me. And, like, I've had my freedoms taken away from me a lot. Um, so I'm cognizant enough to keep them close to my chest. And but when it comes down to the present, I'm going to ask you the Socratic question. Shut the door, babies. Oh, but by Socratic, of course, I'm referring to Socrates, a man who lived 25 or so centuries ago. That's pretty close to when he lived, though. It was like 400 BC. So 400 years counting down to zero before year zero that led to 2020. I think that's how it goes. So it's like 2,420 or 40 years ago.
Assuming the dates are right, yeah, that's
Yeah, well,
right.
What it really comes down to is after an hour conversation, I can get you to agree that the dates, the names, and almost all the details don't matter of anything. Like your
I
name, your
just
birthday,
told you it
none.
doesn't really matter.
Well, yeah, no, but that's my point. Like, the
I
thing
get it.
that's super rich is, like, the concepts that we're talking about, and the Socratic nature of speaking. He was killed, whoever he was, for being annoying. He was refuted, for speaking what other people didn't want to hear. And I hate to say it, but Google does that to you. YouTube does that to you. They don't kill you, but they kill your power to speak. If you look up someone who's trying to do neurological videos like I'm going to start soon, I guarantee you my views start flourishing and I get back page. 100%. I guarantee you it happens, because if every person was walking around with a machine gun of a brain on their shoulders, um, I think that's a better society. I think that generationally, if we could get 70% of people to be working on what makes them happy, to increase their serotonin, to reduce their stress. And I'm not saying that you need to be productive, but if you're hurting other people, or if you're neglecting your own self due to circumstances that you can't change, like call it a shitty structure at work, or call it no other choices, or call it the societal thing that you have to work because you have to live, because you have to pay and pay and pay. Like, there's no place in America you can just go and they're like, welcome to favorite land where everything is free. Not a thing. So it's like, okay, so the first thing you have to learn is, like, if I want, I have to get money. And there's so many psychological aspects that are negative, that are derived from money equaling success, because success does not equal money. I can give you 100 billion right now and tell you, okay, you have 10 years. In 10 years, with 100 billion dollars, you are the richest person, besides Jeff Bezos and maybe one or two other people. 10 years from now, you need to have the biggest, most flourishing company with the happiest morale. Your money ain't gonna help you at all. Ain't gonna help you at all. Like, your creativity on how you treat your employees and build the job they do is important. Um, but we're not there yet. And 2,500 years ago, Socrates, in a Socratic way of thinking, created a city in the Republic. When I started this, I was talking about the Socratic way of thinking. And what that is just basically asking why. So you say something and I say why, and then you say something to answer my why, and I hit you with another quandary, and we go until you understand that confusion is everywhere. It's just usually unfocused on and so it's like he predicted this whole two-party system falling out of balance 2,500 years ago, and we're living in it. Why? Like, we happen to be one of the world's strongest, maybe the world's strongest superpowers, because we got all the nukes first, and we only achieved that because I'm gonna say converted, but what I really think stole scientists from other countries and basically gave them some sort of choice, like that door, this door, this door. They could tell they were gonna be okay. That door was just an empty elevator shaft. So it was like, I think that's what their choice was. It was like, you don't have to work for us. That's the exit. And I think that's it. But nonetheless, we're now like one of the most predominant superpowers, and there's so many things to think about during the daytime. We don't have to talk about politics for the next 30 episodes, and we can talk about the chance of a nuclear war, the chance of an ice age, the chance of fucking Yellowstone popping, the chance of a meteor hitting the Earth, the chance of aliens coming, the chance of us having an aneurysm. Like, and I did not pre-speech this or write this down, but I could go all show on things that could happen to us, just going off my favorite movies and things that, to some degree of 1 in a million, are possible. You know?
Yeah.
So, it's just, why? Why do we only have a two-party system? Why do we have a two-party system that's broken and most people don't acknowledge its brokenness? Pause. People aren't acknowledging the brokenness because they know it can't be changed, as you already said at the beginning of this episode. But it can be changed. It's just going to be trudging through the mud. So now we got 50%, so we get two groups of people, A and B. A is half wants, to just deal with things because they can't fix them, and the other half of B says, they don't want any part of it. And then this side of it is like, it can't be fixed, we will do nothing, and the other side of it, they don't want anything to do with it. So we have 75% of the people in these two groups who are doing nothing, and one section who is. And so it's like, I'm not surprised it's incredibly fucking hard to get remotely anywhere with solving the problem. But we got people asking the wrong questions and looking for the wrong answers. The fact that you could be 50 right now and be paid to know what a leftist and a rightist and all that shit is and answer questions is just ridiculous. Because she's playing fucking drums. Jesus Christ.
Sunday morning dragons.
Yeah. Yeah, but constantly asking why is very important to. I'm so exhausted, but it's very important to the nature of things, and people don't ask why enough. They don't. Like, we live in a society where we're half proud that we can adapt fast, and we're half acknowledging the punishment and trouble we receive because of because it can't be changed. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. Everything's a big headache nowadays. I really don't. I spend a lot of time thinking on solutions because there's enough problems to think about. I can give you problems every day till the cows come home.
Well, yeah. That's part of what life is. And I don't know. I guess that goes back to the rose-colored glasses thing. It depends on how you look at the problem. Is it really a problem or is it a challenge? It's just part of life. Problem kind of has a negative connotation. It's like, yeah, we got a problem. Something that needs to be fixed, something that's wrong. Well, maybe not. It's not wrong. Maybe it's just a challenge. Maybe it's just a hurdle to get over.
No, and I agree. Everything's a challenge, and getting over is not even an easy part.
Not usually. But, it's like video games. If they were really that easy, would you play them all the time? There's challenge to it. That's the only reason I play them.
I agree with you. There's a large aspect of it. A lot of the things I've done in my life are challenging, but like, I don't know. There's not many activities that I do solely because they're challenging. But I suppose I'm looking at them more through like a rose-colored glass, where I see them as so fun that they're not challenging. Or maybe the fact that they're challenging is the part I hate about it, but subliminally I like it. Because I'm not going to admit that I like. It took me 17 tries to beat the boss on RuneScape. Like one of the highest bosses up there. Still an easy one, but one of the highest bosses up there. 17 times to beat him, and it takes an hour to get to him. So that was 17 hours. And every time I died in like 10 seconds. So it was an hour to get to him, and then 10 seconds and dead. It's just like, oh, I can't do this again right now.
Yeah.
It was absolutely ridiculous. But I got it now. I beat it, and I'm super excited. That same accolade was achievable when I was in elementary school. You could have earned your fire cape in elementary school. Like in the year that I was in elementary school. So that's
This isn't a game that I ever played. I've seen people play it, and I've had people try and get me into it. I'm just like, yeah.
You don't want to give it credit. That's okay. But it was one of the first
Ain't
of its
nothing
kind.
in a case of not wanting to give it credit. It is what it is. I'm just saying I really have nothing to say about it because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you. It's the most unique game, and I only mean that by the aspect of how much you can do. It's truly non-limited. Like, the only limitations are what happens in the world. Like, you can't just cast a magic spell on nothing on the ground. Like, that's not a thing. You can't click nowhere and do something. But this world is huge, and every, like, there's, I don't know, 300 quests. Every single one of them is stat requirements. And if you would Google how long it takes to get every stat to 99, you would be fucking sick to your stomach. It's not a game that you get every stat to 99. Fuck, if you get one or two, you're further than most. You know, there's a lot of people who've been playing for 10 years, and of course they have tons of them. But like, holy fucking shit, dude, it's retarded. Like, so I'm at level 83 range. It used to cap at 99, but now there's no cap. It goes forever. But it's exponential growth. So, level 83, I have 2 million experience. You know, say I get whatever different amount per kill, it doesn't matter. The total amount I have is 2 million. To go from 83 to 99 is another 12 million experience. So 1 to 83 is you know, a seventh of what just 83 to 99 is.
Yeah, well, they figure, you know, make it harder. All right, you're a little bit bigger and a little bit badder. It shouldn't take you nearly as long. Here you go. You're gonna need more experience points, though. But but you know, at the same time, they're also giving you bigger things to kill that are going to give you more experience for killing them. So,
for sure. No, it's really cool. Like, there's so much you can do. It's a fun little game because when I was a kid, dude, there was still on PC, and not only was there less stats to a small degree, but there was no mobile aspect. None. Like, now I have it on my phone. I'm playing a full PC game. A full PC game on my phone. You know, to take the game that I play on a PC, which is already nasty of any game I've ever played, and be able to throw it on a mobile is ridiculous.
They have Fortnite on mobile. I think they just took it off. Epic had an issue with Apple for some reason, so I think they just took it off the Apple phones and Apple stores and off iMacs. But
even then,
you can still play it on mobile.
Just the phone though, and like you,
Yeah,
yeah, you.
just a
No,
phone. You
no,
can play it on
you're
there.
messing with my phone. I know, I get that. What I'm
Oh.
saying is like I'm playing RuneScape with just my phone. Like I don't need a controller
Hmm.
around it, and I know they don't either. They have little buttons, but like I cannot be a paid Call of Duty player and jump on mobile and act like it's the same game. Like I don't have a remote, I don't have a headset. Maybe I put a headset on my phone, but like it's just you're losing, or maybe not losing, but they're changing controller to touchscreen D-pad. And so I'm just gonna make the argument that as good as you are on a real controller, you might be different on a touchscreen D-pad. RuneScape's a click-based game. You move the camera and you click every action. That's the button. So as a phone, it's just one
Yeah.
tap, and so like I've played tons of mobile games, but you could never make a mobile game that was more than one tap like this game. It's just too much. Like,
Yeah.
you,
Oh, well, it simplified it because it got rid of the keyboard and the mouse.
it's the fact that my phone could run that is ridiculous. It really is. And it's an MMO.
Hmm.
We can both start on Tutorial Island in Tutorial Island together. Just log into the same world, make an account, and we can literally be talking to the guy teaching us how to play, standing next to each other, watching other people do it. And then the second we finish, we open a door off Tutorial Island together, standing next to each other, and we can go do whatever together, like forever. Like it never forces you to break apart. Um, there's quests, of course, that you do solo, but so if I'm not doing a quest and you're doing a quest, you can go places I can't go. But if we both are doing a quest, unless you're in a spot that is like a boss fight, like there'll be areas in the map that are on the way to bosses and on the way to the end of a quest, and we can go there together. So if we're both access to start of a quest, we can both go in the dungeon together that typically you'd be solo with. So there's a lot of areas of the game you'd consider non MMO, but realistically, if you did everything with a buddy, you could do almost everything with a buddy. um, it's
Yeah.
just cool. Like it's the reason why I don't need to game on this or this bad boy or anything else as much. Just because it's like, oh, I'm ready to bed. I'm not tired. Fucking pull my game out for a minute. Fuck it. And it's nice. I've been listening to a fuckload of podcasts at work. I'm exhausted, but I'm looking forward to. I don't have to get taught how to prep anything at work today. Like I know everything I gotta do. I don't know the list of it, but I know how to do everything. So like, I'm just gonna get in the box and be like A through Z, headphone, and just go.
Yeah,
And
got covered.
yeah, now I'm looking forward to my 2 days off I have. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it a lot. We'll be styling on this. I'll learn how to use that. So what night? In the next 2 days or something. Um,
Uh,
what night in the next 3 nights are you down to record a patron? I'm
good
trying to
question.
get Dante in here too. I just
You
want to try
realize
the
we're
new
still
program.
recording, right?
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, we can. I wasn't really worried about talking about the show's version of stuff on the show. No, just wasn't worried about it. We're not going to talk, but after episode 10, it's never going to be spoke about ever, because we're never going to talk about it. you know? Uh, but yeah, nonetheless, I just want to try to get all of us together. We'll try that new thing, and hopefully from the viewer and anyone listening to this, the video will not be permanently synced to the audio. Um, yeah, I believe that's been solved. So, yeah.
Then my answer to your question is I don't know. Um, you guys have a more set schedule. You know what my schedule's like. And you remember those days. You weren't that far away.
Oh, wait, I don't. To say either of us have a set schedule is just gratuitous. Like, yeah, he does have kind of a set schedule, but he himself is so very like Dante just a busy person, so like it's hard to
Yeah.
pin
Yeah.
him down long enough to do anything. But at night we're both free, me and him. Like 9, 10, 11, 12. Like that's our super free time.
Yeah, that's great because you don't have to get up at 4.
100%. I'm with you.
So,
Um,
but yeah, no, we can definitely figure something out. Something definite. I'll just
yeah.
just
No,
start buying stock in Red Bull. That's all.
I only want to shoot like a 30-minute thing. You know what I mean? Test out some new shit and yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want to cut, I guess this was a good episode. I kind of had planned for us to stay on a lot more of a track, and I was gonna have a start running segments this week. To anyone listening, so we will have regular segments coming soon. Um, but with Dante not being here, just we'll do it next week.
Cool.
So
That works.
thanks to everyone listening, and we will be on Apple Podcasts shortly. All our episodes. Check us out on Patreon, and yeah, if you have any questions, hit up the business email above. So sweet. Anything to say before we cut, Chris?
Web page coming soon.
Awesome. Yep.
Very
So
basic for the moment, but get more into that.
yeah.
For the
So
moment,
thanks.
we all have other lives.
So thanks to anyone who listened this far, and if you have any suggestions or comments, please drop them below, because I don't have much criticism right now, constructive or on. So thank you. Have a good week.